Are you ready for this? We are going to show you how easy it is to eat a well-balanced plant-based meal with our plant plates and plant blender system. You don't have to ask, where am I going to get my protein? How many macros do I have to eat? Nope, you just follow along our system. So let's go.
All right, we're going to talk processed versus plant-based foods. So there's a lot of talk out there. Everyone's demonizing different plant-based foods or they're glorifying it. So we just want to clear a few things up. First off, let's talk whole plant-based foods. This right here would be considered whole plant-based foods. These are real fruits and vegetables grown from nature. You can eat it raw, cooked, steamed, not fried. When you fry it, then it's actually going to be processed. So let's just talk whole foods for a minute. You have tons of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. This is what's going to heal your body. So remember, you're either going to feed the disease in your body or you're going to heal your body. We're always talking about healing on a daily basis. And these type of foods with fiber is very gut healing. It reduces inflammation, it helps protect against certain cancers. So we definitely advise that you eat tons of fruits and vegetables daily. Okay, let's talk processed food for a second. We say stay away from bag and foods with tons of ingredients, but certain whole food plant-based foods come in packages. So for instance, oatmeal, we got right here, this is quinoa, black beans. These three right here, this is still a whole food, okay? Even though it's packaged, it's still a whole food. Like you can go to Whole Foods, get them out of the bins, or we like Thrive Market because they ship them straight to your door and you actually get a discount and it's less expensive than Whole Foods.
Healthy without the hassle.
That's right, healthy without the hassle. But this is what we would put in our Instapot and cook the beans. So this packaged type of food, this is not considered a processed food, okay? So just know that. Okay, another thing right here, canned foods, our second option would be canned foods. So for instance, I would rather cook beans in the Instant Pot first, this is my first choice, then beans and a can. This would be my second choice. But again, you want healthy in a hurry, it's better to go for canned beans than processed foods. So that is for sure. For instance, these beans right here, on the back of the ingredient is just beans. That's it. And you can just rinse it off and you're done. There's not a bunch of sugars, tons of salt and sodium. So these are things to look for when you're looking at labels.
And one other thing, if you do get canned foods, make sure that you look for the BPA-free lining. So just look for that on the label.
I know, great tip, super important. So we have different stuff that we use like coconut milk. Here, right here, this is Amy's chili. This type of beans, it's a little different. Now this is what, I wouldn't consider this to be whole plant-based food. It's healthier than say for instance, Bush's beans. Amy's is a lot healthier. Bush's has a ton of sodium. Jackie's gonna get into reading labels here in a minute, but we want you to be aware, if you're really going cleaner, pure, go for beans like this first in the Instapot, second here, third that.
And you know what, let's also talk about fresh versus frozen versus canned produce. So these are fresh edamame, they're frozen, and literally frozen foods are picked at peak ripeness and then they're flash frozen, very little processing. You want to make sure that you do read the labels and we'll get into that in just a minute, but make sure like if you're getting frozen blueberries or any berries or whatever, vegetables, whatever you're going to have in your freezer, just make sure that they don't have any additives. It's just the fruit or the vegetable that is on the package.
Correct. And a lot of people are like, what's better, fresh or frozen? Whatever you can afford and whatever you can eat, basically. So we have a mix of fresh and frozen in our freezer and our fridge. So just do what best fits your budget. I wouldn't worry about that. It's all about eating the whole foods and inviting more plants to your plate.
That's right. So now let's get into label reading. So just like Marcia talked about with these whole grains, if you look over here and you look at the ingredient panel,
it's just rolled oats. That's it.
That's it. So that is actually really, really amazing. But now let's look at these Annie's honey graham crackers. Oh, they're plant-based. Oh, these are good. Aren't these? Oh, they're organic. If they're organic, they've got to be good, right? So Marcia, can you read the ingredients for me, please?
It's kind of scary. This is when people see organic, they think things are quote unquote healthy. Don't buy into the marketing.
That's why you have to always turn to the nutrition facts panel and look at the ingredients. So read ingredient number 1.
So for instance, ingredient 1, organic whole wheat flour.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay. Organic cane sugar.
Sugar. No, this should be a dessert.
Organic sunflower oil.
Fat. No fiber. No.
Organic honey.
Sugar.
Okay. Organic molasses.
Sugar.
Sea salt.
That's all right.
And then right here we have like some vitamin E, Protect flavor. Don't know what that is. Organic rosemary extract. The point is there's 3 sugars in here, which is not good. So this would be considered a processed food. This would be more of a fun food. You wouldn't eat this on a regular basis. We would rather you eating fruits and vegetables, like to have grapes or say apples or, any of the stuff like bananas that have vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. This does not have vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that's going to heal your body. You have to look at foods like, is this really going to heal me? Think about that.
That's right. Now, one of the things I also like to point out, when you have sugar as one of the first 4 or 5 ingredients, then this should actually be considered as a dessert. So really steer away from these for the most part. Again, we talk 90% whole food, 10% soul food. So if you want to have some honey graham crackers every once in a while, do it, but this is not going to be a daily staple. All right, our next item is Gardein. A lot of people use these when they're transitioning to a whole food plant-based diet. But remember, it says vegan, it says plant-based, but what do? We turn it around, we look and read the ingredients. Marcia?
I'm the ingredient reader, the professional ingredient reader. Okay, soy protein isolate.
That's the very first ingredient?
Yes.
All right. Listen, soy protein isolate is very, very unhealthy. It's very inflammatory. And this is something that we do not need to be consuming, like literally pretty much ever. There are so many other ways to get some kind of tofu in your body. Right here, this is actually soy protein, but it's the whole bean. So this is nourishing and healing. This is inflammatory.
I know. And soy protein isolate is the worst type of soy you should be putting in your body. It's very highly processed. This is a fun food to eat every once in a while. You have to think of it as junk food. And believe it or not, people are transitioning from the standard American diet to the standard American vegan diet. So they're replacing a bunch of their junk, which we're all about the vegan food innovation. But at the end of the day, it really is about whole plant-based foods, what you put in your body.
All right, so this would be considered a soul food. And remember, we want to keep our kitchen and our diet 90% whole food, 10% soul food. Before we get into the plant plates, we have to talk about something. WTF, Marcia. And it's not what you're thinking, my friends. WTF is where's the fiber? Y'all, there is not a protein deficiency in the United States. There is a fiber deficiency. Most Americans literally get 2 to 3 times the amount of protein that they need. And when you consume a high protein diet, that can actually increase your risk of getting cancer and getting different chronic diseases. But there is a deficiency of fiber. Most Americans, 97% of Americans, do not get enough fiber. But where do you get fiber? Fiber is only found in real whole plant foods. Your fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, greens, legumes, all of those have fiber. What doesn't have fiber? Any of your animal products, dairy, these have no fiber. So it's going to be important that we eat fiber in its real natural form, not fiber that's added to foods. There is a study, it's the largest gut microbiome study to date. And Marcia and I, we are obsessed with the gut microbiome. Our gut microbiome is considered our second brain. It's also considered the forgotten organ. So what the American Gut Project showed us is plant diversity makes a world of difference. What does that mean? It means you need to eat 30 plus different plants throughout the week. But don't let that freak you out or anything, because 30 is actually really, really easy to get in your diet throughout the week. We've done some different challenges. We've had women eat 70 different fruits and vegetables and foods throughout the week. Even I think someone had 100 something. And it was crazy. One girl even had 42 plants in one meal.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. All right, so now let's talk about our plant plates. With our plant plates, So everyone always wants to know, where am I going to get my protein? Most common question that gets asked with a plant-based diet. So our protein, remember, we have to think WTF when we're thinking about all our foods. So our protein foods have to be attached to fiber. Where are those? Those are in your beans, your legumes. Quinoa as a whole is a very high protein grain, actually. Greens are high in protein. So are mushrooms. Mushrooms are also really high in protein. And because you are on the Plant Chicks lifestyle, you're leading an active life, you're working out most days, you're practicing active living really pretty much every day, then you're going to need maybe a little bit higher protein, like 20-25% of your plate should be allocated to protein. So now moving on to fats. So again, fats, we want to make sure that our fat is connected to fiber. A lot of times when people think, oh, I need a healthy fat, what about olive oil? Olive oil is healthy, right? No, and the reason it's not healthy, it can be inflammatory. When you have an oil, whether it's olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, sunflower oil, you get the picture. Whatever oil it is, they're extracting all the key nutrients, all the good nutrition. They're taking away the fiber, but what they're leaving you with is all fat. All fat. Fat is very, very calorically dense. It's 9 calories per gram versus 4 calories per gram for protein or carbohydrates. So a very small amount of an all-fat food is going to add on a lot of calories. So where do we recommend you get your fat from following a whole food plant-based diet? We recommend nuts and seeds. They're also super high in protein. Also, olives. Instead of olive oil, eat the whole olives. You can have coconut meat. And one of our favorite, avocado. We have avocado literally daily because it's so good. All right, moving into our carbohydrate section, you're going to see that this is going to take up most of your plant plate. We want to make sure that you're having some starchy carbs, and the starchy carbohydrates are going to be like your quinoa, your oatmeal, any of your whole grains, millet, amaranth, any of those that are whole grains attached to fiber, those are going to be nourishing and healing to your body. Potatoes can also come in here. And then you'll see on the bottom of the plate, 50% of your plate should be dedicated to eating the rainbow, fruits and vegetables. And literally, you want to have all the different colors. You can prepare them any different way. You can eat them raw, you can cook them, you can steam them. Just don't fry them. So choose however you want to prepare them. But again, eat the rainbow and aim to get 40 different plants in your belly every week.
I know what Jackie said seems overwhelming, but it's actually quite simple. So we're going to show you a few examples of some whole plant-based food meals and snacks and dessert ideas. So let's start off with breakfast. So a lot of the times we want healthy in a hurry. This would be a smoothie. If you don't want to drink your breakfast, of course you can always eat it too. And we have a ton of plant-based breakfast recipes in our Plant Plates ebook. So let's just start off with this. So here we have a smoothie. Now in this smoothie, if you just put greens and fruit, you're going to be freaking hungry. So what you want to do is make sure there's greens in here, which we have spinach and avocado and healthy fat, keeps you full. We have chickpeas in here. Chickpeas are high in protein and you can't taste them. We have a banana in here. We also have a little bit of oatmeal in here. So between all of this, we have healthy protein with the chickpeas. Believe me, all plants have protein, but chickpeas are higher in protein. And this replaces the synthetic protein powder. So we have chickpeas for protein in case you're worried about it. We have healthy fat, which is the avocado. And of course, the grains, what Jackie was talking about. We have oatmeal in here, which has 2 types of fiber, insoluble and soluble fiber. These are going to keep you fuller longer, and this is going to garden your gut. So we have all kinds of nutritious, delicious, plant-based recipes to heal you. And so I do love a good smoothie. Not every single morning. I'll incorporate it a few times in the morning, but they are oh so good. So this kind of kickstarts my day. Let's move on. Right here, I always say lunches and dinner are interchangeable because when I see a lunch meal or dinner meal, you can eat it for lunch or dinner. You know, leftovers too, it's all good, right? Yeah. This right here is a Southwest bowl. It has potatoes, it has onions, garlic, bell peppers, guacamole, some pico with cilantro, jalapeno, onions, tomatoes. Like there's all 15 or 16 plants in here.
Easily. And those black beans.
tons. Has black beans for protein. So let's just break it down for a second here. You see this delicious plate. When people go plant-based, they always think they have to eat a little bit of food, right? Actually, you want to eat more food when you go plant-based because it's very nutrient dense. And sometimes it's lower calories than calorie-rich and processed food, which we call crap. So basically, just be careful. You want whole plant-based food that's attached to fiber. And right here, we have beans for protein, potatoes have carbohydrates, and then avocado is our healthy fats. But trust me, all of this is connected to fiber. So think about that. The beans have fiber, your protein has fiber, your carbohydrates have fiber, your healthy fat, avocado has fiber. So it's really this nutrient-rich dish that's both nourishing and healing. And what I like about eating plant-based, I just eat till I'm pleasantly full and I'm getting tons of fiber. And that's what it's all about, right? We said WTF, where's the fiber? The fiber is in here. All right, let's move on to snacks. So most people, when they pick a snack, they're like, oh, I had a snack, and it's usually processed. It might be cookies or chips or some kind of protein bar that has added sugar and added fiber. That's not really, I would say, a snack. That's more of a junk food break, which is fine and all. We have those too. But if you really think about eating healthy on a regular basis, you want to make sure you pick snacks that are whole food plant-based that are attached to fiber. Why? Because they have vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that heal your body. They give you energy and they just make you feel good. It won't weigh you down. You won't feel bloated or gross or addicted. Because think about it, when it comes to snacks, you can eat a bag of cookies, a bag of chips, but is anybody eating a bag of apples? No. I don't think anybody just sits there and eats bags of apples. You don't, because you know why? There's fiber in it. It tells you when you're full. So again, apple right here is a great nutrient-dense snack. Don't worry about the sugar. A lot of women are like, oh my goodness, there's sugar. The fruit has sugar. Fruit is attached to fiber. Okay, so for instance, a cookie, there's no fiber and it's added sugar. It's processed sugar. This is sugar that's grown in nature. So you want to make sure any snack that you choose has vitamins, mineral, nutrients, and
fiber.
There you go. Okay, so moving on, we have our little healthful apple right here. So we put some hemp seeds on there. I like taking a bite and just scooping it into the hemp seeds. Hemp seeds have protein and fat, so it doubles as both sources. So you have protein and fat, your apple's your carbohydrate, and we got some spices on here. We got cinnamon. Cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar. So there's a lot of spices that are either dried or fresh. They have all these very nourishing properties that they do for your body and very healing things they do to your body. So for instance, cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar. This is something great. Apples and cinnamon pair up obviously nicely. And then you got your healthy fat and your healthy protein, which is your hemp, which goes together well. So that way you're getting your protein, fat, carbohydrate with a little bit of spice. Okay, let's move on to desserts. One of my favorite things. Even though I do like fruit for dessert, sometimes fruit doesn't cut it. I get it. One of our favorite things is dates. This right here has dates, peanut butter, and we added some vegan chocolate chips on there. Dates actually have fiber. It's a natural sugar. And if you've ever seen the way dates are made and created, it's so crazy. It's just like it comes on the tree, they turn green, and they start turning brown and they fall off. It's like a giant raisin. They pick them up and scoop them up and boom, but it's attached to fiber and they're actually lower glycemic. So they're pretty safe to eat if you're worried about glycemic levels. So you want to make sure when you do this kind of dessert, you add your healthy nuts. So we have fiber on the sugar right now. We're talking about dates have sugar, but they also have fiber. And then the peanut butter is a healthy fat and a healthy protein. So you got both peanut butter, the fat protein combo. And of course, they have a little bit of soul food, and that would be chocolate chips. Got to have that sometimes. So there you are. We have 4 different little ways that you can make our plant plate system.
These are all healthy in a hurry. Don't forget to download our Plant Plates ebook. There's over 100 delicious recipes. And girl, I am ready. Let's get cooking.
Let's eat.